Special thanks to Toys and Things in Danvers, Massachusetts, Reaper Miniatures, Off the Wall Games in Hadley, Massachusetts, Games and Friends in Springfield, Massachusetts, as well as AAA Games Arena in Wilbraham, Massachusetts. If you enjoy the show, help the podcast grow. Give us a follow on Twitter at LordsBroken, join the community Discord, and maybe consider offering a small tribute to the old ones on our Ko-Fi. All these links and more can be found in our link tree at linktr.ee/The Broken Lords. Thank you.
We're back with some more Conan 2D20. Let's see if you folks can survive in the jungle-ass jungle.
Effectively naked. In our underpants, if that.
If that.
Well, I mean,
Right.
Your pants are now a
You
sling.
put your pants back on, Socks?
That's an important question.
You don't have to, but maybe you have to.
Like, you have time. You could make a sling, like a backup sling out of, like, I don't know, plant fibers or something.
Wait, so when you're saying jungle ass, are the mosquitoes of the jungle ass jungle variety here?
No, I wouldn't say there's heavy mosquitoes here.
Okay.
For reasons that will become clear much later on.
Got it.
Thank you. No, we've got a dead gorilla. I'll make a real ass sling out of that.
That's a start.
Just like a long ass strip of skin from this gorilla, just to let me wear pants.
We use what we gotta have.
I mean, I feel like step one is skin it.
Yeah, well, he made some little flint knives so that he can skin it, and I believe you said you're going to use the first of that skin to wrap some of the flint knife? Okay.
Yes, I'm making...
It is just raw ape skin. It is not leather. It is just raw ape skin.
We keep saying leather. No, it's definitely not leather.
Literally just skin. Silence of the Lambs status.
But, and this is important, it bites into your hand a lot less than raw flint.
It's true.
True.
Yeah.
And that's really all I needed to do for the moment.
Everybody else, let me know what it is you're planning on crafting. And then we will have some, while you guys are working, it'll be the perfect opportunity to get to know each other and stuff, so.
Corey, you might recall I picked up a clump of dirt.
Yes, you did.
That was very on purpose. I'm trying to get a sense of, like, how moist is it? What kind of soil is it? Does it have a smell? Is there variety in the color? Like, what am I seeing? What am I experiencing?
Okay, so that is, like, information that is kind of in your wheelhouse based on your background. So give me a survival check. The difficulty is going to be 2 on this one.
2, huh?
Yes.
I feel this warrants fortune. So I can add a die to the roll. Oh god, please tell me I'm remembering that correctly.
Fortune just gives you
a success.
2 successes if you have a focus in it.
I'm going to invest a fortune to add successes.
Okay. Alright, so you're starting at 2 successes, and it's a good thing, because you rolled none. There's still 1 fortune left in the group momentum pool if you want to use a gather information spend, but what you get for free off of that roll is the following. The soil is very rich, and it's unsurprising considering you're standing at the edge of a jungle. But on top of that, judging by all the bones lying around, it has been very thoroughly fertilized. The quality of it is coarse, but there is a lot of life and potential for life in it as far as like plants and things like that go. It looks like it's pretty mineral rich. But I would say the main way to describe it would be coarse. It's not like the soil back home in Carinthia, which would be like very soft and dark.
Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is start trying to collect myself, because we're not going to live, and further, I can't craft anything if we don't have water.
To that point, when Ricardo comes down from the trees, Ricardo has seen a stream not too far up ahead north.
Do tell.
About half a mile up north, there is a stream, a waterfall he points like to the west. He goes that side and ends in pond. And even further up, there is a hut, a building of some sort. Ricardo would suggest that we go up there. He does not want to spend the night out in the open exposed for those creatures.
I doubt you can be any less exposed than our other friend over there was moments ago.
His aim with his pants was impeccable, though.
To be entirely fair, in this day and age in Conan, nudity is not as big a thing as it is out here.
Ricardo says it's all with no shirt, for the record, because that is to Sox's point.
Phaedra, even taking into account the normalcy of nudity and the shirts out, guns out attire of most of the male cast here, is just simply not impressed.
To your point, Phaedra, as far as like you need water to be able to do the stuff you're good at, you would also need at minimum a mortar and pestle and probably like a knife for harvesting herbs and things. The knife can be covered easily by Octomer, but if you grab a scapula from that pile of bones and maybe like part of a rib or something, you could makeshift a mortar and pestle quite easily as well.
No, I like that, but also, I guess I was just hoping to have a drink of water after getting literally jumped by apes first. It's not
That is
really
true.
my focus at the immediate moment. Plus, Ricardo just mentioned a shack, right? If I find a helmet, that would make a better bowl. Or a better...
He will say the shack is quite a ways. It might be a little bit of a journey. Right? Is that you said it was like a few miles, right?
More than a few.
Okay.
You could see it because there's like a dip in the valley, but it's not super duper close, and you don't know yet how fast you'll be able to move in the jungle.
Right. If there's useful things we can find here, we might as well find it now. To that point, could Ricardo start trying to put together like a basic club, either like trying to tie some rocks to sticks and such?
Do you actually have ranks in craft at all?
I do have ranks. I have 2 ranks in craft, as it turns out. And I have the journeyman.
You might need a little bit of help in direction because you're used to crafting in very civilized circumstances.
Yes.
But you certainly have the skills necessary to get a dead piece of wood and a combination of shoving sharp rocks into it and maybe using some forage plant fibers or maybe some
Right.
of the gross skin that is being harvested.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of make what would pass for a sword, but of much crappier quality.
Sure, that I normally would spend 100%, but
Yeah.
well,
And that is going to take a fair bit of time.
Find potable water. We need it. Period.
Yes, you do.
Besides crafting the bow, I'd also I think we could make a water skin.
Ooh, a very good point.
we're probably gonna have to. Yeah, we would probably need to, right?
We could probably make 2.
Yeah, we do have 2 ape livers with us.
A proper water skin you will have to cure. You'll have to find a way to cure that skin somewhat. Unless you want, like, really bacteria-ridden water held inside of rotting meat.
Hell yeah.
Delicious.
You know, when you put it that way,
Well, it's just so we grab all the materials that we need, but not necessarily that we can craft it immediately.
I mean, if we make a fire happen, wouldn't we not be able to cure it? Or does that take, like, days? I actually...
You might be able to do, like, a good enough version with some of the materials at hand. You know, start off by drying it and laying it out on the stone circle, making a fire so you have heat. Octomer would know that grinding certain bark, if you can get your hands on the right kinds of minerals and work it into there, it will accelerate the process. But if you want to definitely ensure that you have viable water skins for your journey, you might have to spend a couple days here.
If we're going to be spending time here, I suggest we do it at the cabin. Come to, Barbarian. Ricardo, grab these corpses and let's go off with them. We're heading north.
Ricardo turns to the person that was just referred to as Barbarian and goes, Ricardo finds it rude to just refer to you as that. May I have your name?
Pole of Samaria, as he goes to grab one of the corpses.
I fought with a couple from Samaria once. Your lads are worth their weight in gold on the walls. I'm happy to find myself in the wilderness with one. Be quite honest?
Military, then.
Not quite. Everyone in the Bosanian marches is military these days. Valentrium's the front line against the Picts, ever since Black River fell.
Fair enough. It explains the way you talk, if nothing else.
I don't think Ricardo has called your name.
Octomer,
Well met.
come now. You're strong enough. Help me lift this one.
Ricardo, looks taken aback because that is the first time he's received orders from somebody that is not, immediate family in a minute, but shrugs and heads over and helps Dave.
Not only not immediate family, but a peasant just gave you orders for the second time today.
Ricardo's in the jungle, and I think he's in the, this is a post-jungle situation where I'll address this shit.
Post-jungle situation. That's the episode title.
Post-jungle situation.
No, that's the end of the arc. That's the final episode.
The last episode is post-jungle situation.
I'm going to get my bone club, because that seems like a not dumb idea.
At the risk of Ricardo sounding foolish, this is him speaking. Since we've all come here through means that we are not so sure of, did anyone have such a strange vision or dreams of the night previous?
Aye, sorcery, all right.
You think it is sorcery that afflicts us?
Octomer just shrugs. I can't explain it by any normal means. It must be a sorcerer of some kind.
Magic of some sorts. Ugh. Bad business.
Monsters? Eyes that would not cease staring?
Yep. You too?
Oh, really?
Indeed.
Hey, Corey.
Yes.
When a group of people is visited by the same vision, what in the body of my sorceress knowledge could that mean?
Well, make a sorcery test.
It's time to fail this roll. Yeah.
Excellent.
Bam.
Hey, no, we got a success.
Unless I have a difficulty to overcome.
All a difficulty.
I don't know if anybody else has any ranks in sorcery, but it is important to note, in case you're unaware, that unless you have the right talents, sorcery is only a lore skill. Alright, so for one success, you would have, very basic knowledge. While the others have a bad feeling about those carved symbols on the stone surface, you have seen their like before, and you are actually slightly resistant to the nauseating effect of looking at them. And it certainly looks like sorcery. I would also go so far as to say that Kull, being a Sumerian, is just instinctively aware that there is sorcery ambiently in the air around you, lingering from whatever caused this. You would also go so far to say, as while you are not really familiar with sorcery that can transport you in the specific, you know in a broad sense that it exists. You guys could have been enchanted to sleep and taken from your homes and brought here by physical means, or you suppose it's possible that you could have been transported here by purely sorcerous means, which is the much more terrifying option.
Right.
I can't believe I'm asking this, and I know it wasn't the hardest look that I could have taken, but when Octomer forged his sling in the heat of the moment,
Okay.
were there any, big obvious gashes on his body, scrapes, bruises, anything that might indicate being dragged?
No. And the same can be said for Vega, since he's not wearing a shirt, and for Kull, because he's only wearing a loincloth. So, yeah, there's no
rug rash, nothing like that.
Yeah, there's no sign that you guys were dragged or roughly transported.
Interesting. Okay.
The only impact your situation has had on your physicality is you probably feel kind of stiff because you spent at least part of the night sleeping on flat rock.
They could have at least thrown down some hay. Maybe.
It just doesn't make any sense. I know Ricardo has enemies, but none that I don't remember ever drawing the ire of a magic wielder. Ugh.
They would not be a very good sorcerer or sorceress or what have you if you knew they were a wielder of magics.
Is that how they typically work?
Do you ever see them just allowed to wander about in daylight?
All the time.
Ricardo supposes you have a point.
I mean, Othmar has an entirely different experience than most of the rest of you on that.
It's very true.
The Picts have a lot of shamans around, whole lot of them.
Actually, Fish, would I have recognized the saber-toothed tiger from our dream?
Would you have seen a saber-tooth before? Yes, but that actually wasn't a saber-tooth. It was just a particularly big, regular tiger.
Okay, good to know.
Finding a particularly big snake.
An extremely big snake, yes.
Good to know. Okay, understood.
Before we actually start heading off, I'll grab a femur or something for as a club as well.
Team club.
We got sticks and rocks. What else can we be but Team Club?
I'm Team Sling. Eat shit.
That's true.
So, are we gonna start heading out to the shack now?
Oh, we should at least make it to the stream. Yeah, I mean, if there's how, according to the sun, like, what time of day are we?
It is early morning still.
If the stream is like a half mile away, and the shack is, I'm guessing, like even 3 or 4 miles away, that's
Probably
an
more.
easy journey for one day.
Bro, why did you have to say that out loud?
I mean, we can cover that journey
Yes,
quite
okay.
easily in
Fair.
one day.
Fair, okay.
I am not going to argue that you could potentially make it to the shack in one day.
I really hope smelling like dead animal works in our favor.
Yes, it'll draw the predators to us,
No, it would only draw scavengers. Predators have
entirely true.
standards.
unless they're
Do
starving.
Most predators in nature will not eat an already dead animal because,
Okay.
you know, natural selection has convinced them that that's a really good way to get poisoned and die.
Fair. Okay.
Scavengers, however, can eat anything. That's their superpower.
Good
As
for
we
them.
set off, you mentioned those trees a while ago, and that
Yes.
maybe I had seen them as I wandered around. Do I recognize them? Like, what kind of trees are they?
So interestingly enough, this tree and a lot of the ones beyond it, which there are several different species around, now that you have a chance to more closely examine them, you realize that you've only really seen most of them in books. However, in your travels, you've been to a couple places that have like exotic menageries and stuff. So some of the larger trees that you can see past the tree line, which have smooth bark, massive trunks, and a lot of almost wooden-looking vines descending from the canopy, you've seen smaller ones of those before. But you've got a pretty good idea. You've traveled from Carinthia, Brithunia, Nemedia, Argos, Aquilonia. You've been in a good chunk of the west of the continent, and you've never been to where trees like this would come from.
Right? That takes out, like, the middle of the whole world map.
You'd love to see it.
Yes.
So, we ain't in that strip. I imagine you guys having tangoed with Picts, we're not really in that region either, because you guys would have spoken up by now.
These trees are weird.
Ricardo is trying to look like he knows what is going on. He's trying. He's doing his best.
Trying is good.
You can ask for nothing more from a man from Zingara.
And our very tall friend also doesn't seem to be.
Ricardo will ignore that slight for now.
Yeah.
Most of Cull's travels have been literally kind of a direct route between Samaria and Aquilonia. So he's used to like barren ass hills that are always cold and wet. And he's used to like a really temperate, lovely climate.
Huh. So not this.
Yeah, is it like hot as shit out here? Like, what are we doing temperature wise?
It is pretty warm. I would say bordering on uncomfortable,
Ooh.
but not particularly dangerous, at least not where you are now.
Okay.
Is it humid?
I was about to say, yeah, how wet are we?
It is humid. Like, you guys are sweating. The direct sunlight is, like, you're going to get burns if you spend too much time out on the exposed rock here.
Okay.
The tree canopy, from what you can tell just by looking in the tree line, is pretty solid, though. So the sun is less of a concern once you're in the jungle.
Cool.
Last call before we jump in.
Hi ho, it's off to the witch shack we go.
Sweet.
Well, off to the stream. But yes.
Off to the stream. I mean, yes, on the way to the shack. We should
Like,
stop at the stream.
all of the above, really.
The nice thing is, you got, like, the valley is at its narrowest point here. and you guys don't really have to worry about getting lost because the stream crosses its entire width here.
Excellent.
We
It just finds its way into like a natural
pond.
cavern on the far eastern.
Far eastern side, correct, yeah. The western side is the falls, the eastern side is the pond. Did you guys have a preference on angling one way or the other?
I was thinking about checking out the waterfall, honestly. That's the way Ricardo was interested in, but
Any of you a hunter?
Certainly. There's not one in the marches who doesn't hunt.
The game trail might be the easiest way to go.
That's assuming there's game. I'll take a look around.
I mean, there's enough game around to support an overly large tiger and an overly large snake, so...
and 5 apes.
I had completely assumed those were mental.
Yeah, I also thought that too. I did not take that literally.
Now that you guys are breaking into the tree line, you can see signs of the struggle. Those were
Oh.
very real, and they were very close to you.
Wait, what? Oh,
Wow.
oh
Excellent.
no.
See, I'm in danger.
Hello there, dear traveler. I see you found yourself lost within the morbid forest. But don't fear. Ranger Harper is here to guide you through the twisted tales seeping among the trees. Best stay close to me, lest you find yourself trapped within the morbid forest. The Morbid Forest is a horror anthology podcast available on all streaming platforms and suitable for mature travelers only.